You're watching Sky Sports.
The IndyCar field come together in picturesque mid-Ohio this week, with fans and drivers still talking about the tumultuous end to the race at Edmonton 2 weeks ago.
Off of corner 14, here we go, 3 laps to go.
Power is on the overtake, looking to the outside, just like he did to Wilson.
Can't do it, in fact he loses second to Dixon.
Franchitti books now. Dixon just forces his way through.
Castro Nevis with a drive-through for blocking? What? Scott Dixon is the leader of this race. Elliott will take it first, but did Scott Dixon win the race?
Don't take on the security, guys.
Dixon was also victorious at Mid-Ohio 1 year ago, taking a record-breaking 20th career win. Can the Kiwi take flight today? Round 12 of the IndyCar season was the Honda Indy 200 in Lexington, Ohio. The highlights come from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Championship leader Will Power's runner-up position at Edmonton stretched his lead at the top of the table to 50 points over Dario Franchitti, but Scott Dixon arrived at one of his favourite tracks in good spirits after his first win of the season last time out. With me in the studio for their analysis of the action were racing drivers Johnny Kane and James Rossiter, but first we join our commentators at the track, Bob Jenkins, John Beekhouse and Robbie Buell.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineup here. Lining up beside Will Power in row number 1, Dario Franchitti. In row number 2, Takuma Sato, his best start of the year, and Ryan Hunter-Reay, 5th in points.
And Ryan Hunter-Reay, he has absolutely been the standout for Andretti Autosport on road courses, so he should be in for a great day today.
Scott Dixon, the winner 2 weeks ago in Edmonton, and Elio Castro-Nevis in row number 3, starting 7th. Ryan Briscoe, the winner on the Texas Oval this year, and E.J. Viso coming off a top 10 finish at Edmonton. Row number 5, Marco Andretti and Simona Di Silvestro, who finished 9th at Toronto.
And she had a real shot at getting into Firestone Fast 6, but had a clutch problem before she could get out and really run a hot one. She has been fast all weekend.
Row number 6 consists of Justin Wilson, who has finished 2nd twice this year, and Hideki Muto, who finished 5th here last year. As you take a look at the rest of the lineup, there have been 16 different winners in 25 races here at Mid-Ohio. The farthest back the winner has ever started was 8th when Al Unser Jr. won in 1995 and Juan Pablo Montoya won in 99. The race has been won from the pole 10 times, but not since 2003, and 8 times the Mid-Ohio winner has gone on to win the championship. There you see one of the 2 drivers making their debut, Draconi. Francesco Draconi will be making his debut in the series this year, taking over the Conquest car, which has been driven all year by Mario Romancini. And there is the Hall of Fame football player, Lynn Swan, who's in the starter stand as the crews and the teams are given the 1 more lap to go signal. Onboard cameras will be carried today by hometown favorite Graham Rahal, whose father won here in 1985 and in 86. Tony Kanaan finished 4th here in 2007. Dan Weldon is in the National Guard car, starting in 13th position. Elio Castro-Nevis, a 2-time winner here at this facility. Scott Dixon will carry an onboard camera. He's the other 2-time winner in the field, and he is also the defending champion of this event. Cars warming and cleaning their tires as we get set for the start of today's Honda Indy 200. Here's Jack Arute. All right, well, Jack's mic has decided that we'll take a pit stop. It'll be back in action soon, we hope. As the field begins to line up behind the pace car, they'll line up 2 by 2. Here are the tire designations. Starting on the blacks, there you see the 7 drivers who have chosen to start on the blacks. Everybody else on the red alternate. Boy, we have just had great weather here this weekend, and the crowd has responded favorably. As I think Elio said, there are people everywhere in the grandstands and along the track.
And you hear that from all the drivers as you roll down into turns 4, 5, and 6 where the elevation is, and you got fans everywhere. All the drivers just love it how they're just lined around this circuit.
It's a great place to watch a race from. You can bring your lawn chair and your blanket and just have a wonderful weekend.
Here we go.
Here we go. Will Power leads him down off of corner number 2. And the Apex Brazil green flag waves. We are underway at Mid-Ohio.
And look for guys going around the high side here in turn 3 as it sets them up for 4. Can it help you out a little bit?
Sato slotting in there in second place, and we have a car off track. It's TK. Tony Kanaan is off course.
If he can keep it running, he'll be okay. He'll obviously drop to the back. Corner workers telling him to stay inside. He'll be able to regroup from here.
Winner in Iowa earlier this year on the oval, Tony Kanaan, with a slide off here in the early going. As we watch the activity up front, Power has the lead. Takuma Sato running second. Then it's Franchitti and Dixon, the top 4.
Now, pretty impressive for Sato if you really think about it. All the permanent road courses that we have been on this year, he is qualified in the top 6. So he is absolutely at home on this type of circuit and keeps getting more and more comfortable with these cars and how to get the most out of it with his crew.
He is coming off his best finish of the year, a 9th at Edmonton 2 weeks ago.
Rafa Matos in the HP car there was just sneaking a little look down the inside of Adam Carroll, who's driving for
Watch Franchitti, though. Watch Franchitti in 3rd place. He's going after Sato.
He's got it. No,
not yet.
Not quite.
Well, the one thing there, if you keep the momentum on the high side of that turn 3, it puts you on the inside as you get to that next corner. Right. So there is a play to be had there.
He left the door open, but he also took advantage, as you said, Robbie, on being on the proper line for the next corner.
Let's just go back. He didn't leave the door open. Those are the when you commit. If you're not trying to pass somebody going in there, you got to be on the left-hand side of the track, creating an opportunity for Dario to get in there. We love it.
All right, we saw TK off course. Let's take a look at what might have happened.
Rafael Matos, J.R. Hildebrand, he goes by them on the outside, and he's out of the groove.
Yep.
Just
now
carried
he's
in.
Really out of the groove.
Yeah, just carried in too much speed, ran out of track.
This is from Ryan Hunter-Ray's onboard camera.
Whoa! Ryan Briscoe
locks him up.
Thank you very much.
I noticed that Briscoe and Castroneves both, at least on that opening lap, were having a bit of trouble keeping up with the group. Certainly not as fast as Power. Look at this inter-squad rival here. Yeah. That's Kanaan going after Danica Patrick.
And this is for 23rd position.
And so this is coming really to the best passing zone. The long back straightaway sets you up here. Look to the cones between 3 and 4. That's the designation in the track, right there where those cones are.
A better perspective of the track from high above it. Just a great...
And that's what they call Thunder Alley as you come off of turn 9. Between those trees, if you go back and watch over there, it just kind of reverberates all back through, and it's very quick, demanding physical section.
Now through the carousel, you can certainly get the idea right away. This is a driver's racetrack. Then by the front straightaway, which they're being scored now. Of course, they started the race on the other side, but that's the pit straightaway. It's shorter. And Robbie, turn 1, that takes commitment.
Love turn 1. One of my favorite corners in all the country of all the racetracks. It takes commitment.
That you would say that. It looks like such an innocent place.
Oh, if you're ever at this racetrack, go to the outside of the corner and watch the cars go through there. It's like they defy the laws of gravity. But one thing this track is, and you hear some drivers don't talk it up, but a lot of them do, it is absolutely physical. Look at Dario. He had a run on Sato.
And he got it.
Oh, and Franchitti was on his overtake button, so he used one of his overtake assists, making a move, and at the same time, Scott Dixon at Sato actually used it in defense, but he's got that position. Nice job. I think Dario certainly is somebody who's we got to watch to challenge Power.
Well, because Dario was very confident in what he said when he got out of the car. He's like, I really like my car. I'm really happy with it. I think we made good strides. He worked very hard on Friday night with his engineer, Jeff Simmons, because he wasn't happy after the first day. Well, they got it right, and you get that sense from him.
So Scott Dixon now is in second position, or make that fourth position. Will Power has now led in 11 of the 12 races this season. The only race he has failed to lead was on the oval at Kansas. Stay with us for more on Versus Nonstop.
Transfer news just coming in, and it's big. Sky Sports News will no longer be playing for Freeview. What a story.
The whole squad?
Yes, including Jeff and the boys from Soccer Saturday. They'll now be appearing exclusively for Sky Sports News.
And that's not all. From August the 23rd, we're not just transferring, but getting bigger and better.
And we'll be looking good in high definition.
Sky Sports News HD, the home of sports news.
Clonmel is the home of Magners cider. And everybody here knows that the quicker the apples are pressed, the fresher the juice that makes the Magners. There's method in the Magners.
Good morning, San Francisco. It's 7 a.m. and it's a beautiful morning. The sun's shining and it's going to be like this all week. So come on, what's stopping you? Fix yourself a good old breakfast. Because I'm telling you, today's going to be a great day.
He's insured, he's not. Ouch. Normally, he'd lose his no-claims discount and his excess wouldn't be covered. But with Direct Line, he's covered by our uninsured driver's promise. It's a big moment, chaps. Nice one. Remember, Direct Line aren't on price comparison sites. So, for a 15% discount and our uninsured driver's promise,
visit directline.com. Who is that bloke anyway?
No.
When the last angel falls, the battle for mankind begins. Legion on DVD now.
Will Power has led in 13 of his last 14 starts. He is the leader of this race as we go back through the field with Honda. Running in second position, officially 9/10 of a second behind. The leader is Dario Franchitti.
And I just talked about how Dario is working hard with his engineer, Jeff Simmons. I meant to say his brother, Chris. I get those boys confused every once in a while, both in the racing world.
That's, of course, because Chris did engineer Jeff, who was also a driver. Now, of course, Sato's had a great run, as well as Scott Dixon. And we heard, certainly, for Scott Dixon, changing an engine and having problems with that throttle. As Robbie Floyd had said, that's kind of a crazy way to start a race. And look at Ryan Hunter-Reay right behind. He's closing in.
Ryan Hunter-Reay is in fifth position. He's also in fifth position in the point standings, leading the charge for the Andretti Autosport team.
And Hunter-Reay is one of the guys that said this is absolutely the most physical racetrack that we're at.
Elio Castroneves runs about 5 seconds behind the leader, Will Power. And right behind him is his Penske teammate, Ryan Briscoe.
And check out right behind is Simona De Silvestro. Imagine it's a much lower budget team. She's chasing down 2 Penske team members thinking, hey, this day's going pretty well.
EJ Viso had a problem at the very start. Couldn't get the car started on pit lane, but he caught up and is now running in the 9th position behind Simona.
And
there's
Wilson,
Justin Wilson. Yeah.
You know, I talked to him this morning, and he had a little incident with Briscoe, and he hurt his right hand, and his doesn't have his thumb. He can't use that. It's really going to be a long day for him in that cockpit.
Different colors for Marco Andretti this weekend in the 26 car, flying the Meyer colors. He's running in 11th position. 12th is Hideki Muto.
Got a teammate this weekend in Graham Rahal, the Newman Haas team.
National Guard car of Dan Weldon runs in 13th position as we continue to go back through the field. Into the carousel is the 13th corner and onto the front stretch.
Mario Marias spoke to him when he went over to the infield hospital to check on his crew members, said that with the 35-foot pit boxes that Jack mentioned, it was just too tight, and he clipped 3 of them with the front wing.
But again, they're apparently okay and working the race. Mario Marias is running 14th. Alex Tagliani will be the driver running in 15th position. There he is, easily seen because of his name on the back wing, as is the case with Bertrand Baguette.
And Bertrand Baguette, I mean, if you look at the year results in black and white, it doesn't do justice of what that guy's been doing with Conquest Racing. Yeah. That's my take.
He was very quick in some of the practices this weekend. The 27 car is being driven by Adam Carroll. He made his season debut at Watkins Glen. Rafa Matos is next in 18th position, and behind him is Alex Lloyd. And then another guy making his Eyes on IndyCar Series debut, the 2009 Firestone Indy Lights champion, J.R. Hildebrand. He'll also be in this car at Sonoma in 2 weeks.
If you ever want to see how evenly matched these cars are, they're just nose to tail. Vitor Mira with ABC Supply AJ Foyt entry following up behind, and Kanan's in pits.
So the first to make a pit stop is Tony Kanaan.
And why he is coming in right now is we saw he was marred way back in traffic, so probably part of the theory is say, hey, let's get him in right now. We got the sticker reds on there. They're a little faster tire, more grip to him, but he doesn't have anybody in front of him. So right now he can run as fast as he wants. I mean, he's got to run as fast as he can.
Now, in qualifying yesterday, TK apparently had a really good lap going, but he comes up on Simona Di Silvestro.
She was gapping herself, so she slowed down. Then she stands on it. We thought she was going to leave the door open for Kanaan. She didn't. She's not quite up to speed. She's trying to get in. She did transfer. Unfortunately, Kanaan did not. He had to slow down and gap himself, and he was on the outside looking in. Well, look at her go today, and I really think she may have had a shot at the top 6 without having that clutch problem.
Down to Jackaroo.
And Robbie Buell, you were absolutely right. Check with Tom Anderson. And remember we talked about if you're being slowed up or impeded by some traffic, go out of sequence, get off there. You always want to race the racetrack, not others. That's exactly what Tony Kanaan has done, and it's been confirmed by his team.
Meanwhile, Will Power continues to lead. The top 5 are Power, Franchitti, Sato, Dixon, and Ryan Hunter-Ray at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in North Central Ohio.
Early days then in Mid-Ohio, but you've got to say that Dario Franchitti, having been caught not napping, but certainly Takuma Sato got the kind of start, James, that we might have expected. Got up the inside of Dario and it took 4 laps to get him back.
Yeah, he did. It's actually proving quite difficult for them to overtake on this track, but Dario put a great move on Taku to get back into 2nd place, and now he looks like he's just slowly sitting behind or pulling in Will and looking good.
Strategy, Johnny, of course, has changed a bit for Tony Kanaan. That was forced on him because he had that off. He's now on the longer looking strategy. Won't have to go for the splash and dash at the end. But the one I want to talk about is Justin Wilson. He was, it would seem, the first of the runners on black tyres at the moment around here. How's that going to work for him?
Well, hopefully it's going to be a good move. I mean, Justin obviously feels he could have done a little bit better in qualifying and decided to start on the harder tyre and try and make use of that and keep the red faster tyre for later in the race.
Ryan Hunter-Ray. It's a great racetrack. Good crowd as well, James, you've got to say today. Obviously everyone out for yesterday's ALMS race that was pretty enticing, and they're back today in perfect conditions.
Yeah, it looks like they're putting on a really good event. There's definitely, the crowd seems like they're at capacity. It looks really good.
Well, they've tasted what the Brits can do a little bit earlier on, of course, with Martin Plowman winning the Indy Lights race. A 1-2-4 by the Brits in the Indy Lights earlier today, if you've only just joined us. But in the IndyCar proper race at the moment, it is Will Power out front, the Australian, looking so quick from pole position, but not quite able to build on Dario. Dario's looking pretty feisty, James.
Yeah, he's looking comfortable. He's sat there. He knows what fuel number he needs to make, if you like, for his strategy to work for him. and he looks quite comfy sat there in second place, just following Will and going at his pace.
Adam Carroll only 17th at the moment. Perhaps a lot to learn in Indy cars, Johnny.
Yeah, well, he's still in 17th place where he started, but you know, he is a good racer, and you know, hopefully as he gets more used to this type of car, he's going to show us exactly what he can do.
Now, we mentioned fuel a little earlier on. Ganassi are pretty good at fuel saving, and Will Power's going to be knowing that, and Dario is probably the master of fuel saving in a team that's a master of fuel saving.
Yeah. We've seen him in the past.
Well, we're going to go back now because we're going to pick up with our commentators at trackside for the very latest from Mid-Ohio.
Will Power leads by just about a second over Dario Franchitti. There's Franchitti running in second position as they come down the front stretch and complete another lap. That's the 14th lap out of 85 that make up the race here today. The IZOD fastest lap of the race so far by Will Power on lap number 12.
And you see that maximum cornering, 3.5 Gs. You actually do that in 3 places on the racetrack. Turn 1, turn 4, and turn 11. So this is a high commitment, high physically demanding racetrack.
Robbie Floyd is down on pit lane.
Tom, we noticed TK coming in nowhere near that window. Why come in so early?
We're just getting held up in traffic there. We couldn't move, and looking at that time to the leader and what we were losing, if we waited till a full stead, we were going to be close to being lapped, so we got to get him out into some free air.
You went from a road race to an off-road race for a while. Any damage to the car?
No, it doesn't seem to be. Everything seems to be running right now.
You know, your body's 57+% fat. That is a life-threatening level of just fat.
If you quit on me again, you go home, and no one's gonna chase you.
They're all big.
Come on!
But she's the biggest they've ever had on the show, and her choices are stuck. Work off that flab.
You were in denial.
Or face an early death. The Biggest Loser USA, the brand new series, tonight at 8 on Sky One HD.
G'day. Hi, it's Ben from Southend.
Benno!
I was just wondering, is my girlfriend definitely going to end up looking like her mum?
Curly one. Put it this way, mate. Did Scott ever wonder if the lovely Charlene was going to end up looking like Madge?
No.
Of course he didn't.
You'll find as you get older, mate, other stuff will start to occupy your mind. Like, why do I have hair growing out of my ears?
And how do they make Scotch eggs?
Don't worry about the future, mate. Just enjoy the now.
Who knows? She could turn out to be a Vorderman.
Oh, that would be nice.
I've got to go.
No worries, mate.
Foster's. Good call.
Who says power can't be caring? Introducing new Dove Men Plus Care deodorant. Powerful 48-hour protection and unbeatable skin caring action. New Dove Men Plus Care deodorant.
Well, Power has been able to inch his way just a little bit more ahead of Dario, but they continue to run in the same order, the top 5. And we are approaching the pit window. It's somewhere between lap 25 and 30.
Correct. And I think something very interesting is going to happen in the second stint. And you guys will be very surprised. You know how Firestone is always telling us that we shouldn't say that the Reds are necessarily softer, they just have higher grip? Yep. Actually found out that the Reds are not only faster, but they may be more durable. I found out after the morning warm-up that the Blacks don't actually seem to last as long as the Reds. So when you have people come in to make the pit stops and put on the Blacks, that next stint is going to be more difficult.
Wow. Good information. Let's go down to Robbie Floyd.
Well, guys, we talked about the pit window being between lap 25 and 30. Now, normally you're trying to stretch that window, get as much as you can out of it, but that may not be the case for some of these teams because of how tight these pit stalls are, only 35 feet. So maybe you come in earlier when everybody doesn't come in. That gives you maybe a clean run in, a clean run out. That could make up a second or two just right there. So normally you're trying to stretch. They may come in early just to try and save themselves some time right here on pit lane.
Well, when you do that, Robbie, you then take the risk of that cold tire penalty that we were saying earlier. So do you want clear pit lane or you want the cold tire penalty? I think that if you can, you will go as far as you possibly can pedal it to pit lane.
Yeah, and I think this is probably one of the first events that we really haven't seen that much disparity between the blacks and the red. There's just other things that these guys are watching. And one of the things that they are watching is the graining on the tires. Okay, watch this move.
That's J.R. Hildebrand getting off, was right by our booth, and it showered us with rocks. But look at the momentum that Mira has, as well as Graham Rahal.
Yep. So Hildebrand drops back to 22nd, Mira to 20th, and Rahal to 21st.
And the key when something happens with Hildebrand, this being his first time here, is when you drop wheels off like that, you got to just ease the car back out. Don't jerk your hand. Don't jerk the wheel. Just let it track out. You've messed up and ease it back on the track. There goes Graham down the inside.
And he moved to the left because he had to by the regulations.
Right.
In the old days, if you were slow coming off of a corner, you would just hug the right-hand side and say, oh, I lost momentum. You're going to have to go the long way around.
I can't believe you do that in the spirit of just being a good competitor. Wouldn't you just stay on the outside of the track and say, there you go, guys?
Oh, some more dust is kicked up, and there's Wilson.
And you know why that's happened, guys? I can tell you why.
Whoa.
Something's wrong.
He just locked it up, didn't he? I was going to say, he said with the problem in his right hand, if that car gets loose, he just can't jerk the wheel enough, and he's driving all with his left arm. He's
I think something's broken.
And AJ Viso is off course.
Wow, you know what this is going to mean? This is going to mean you're going to have full course yellow, and everyone's going to try and stop in a 35-foot.
Very busy pit lane.
And we heard from every driver, they said it's going to be crazy if it is a yellow stop like that.
And you're in the window.
Now look at, he wanted to come back on locked up.
I think something was wrong with the car, but this is yesterday in qualifying. Briscoe has just left the pits, and here comes Justin Wilson. Flying lap, thinks that Briscoe is leaving the door open for him, and kablamo. Now, each thought that the other one took each other out. Now, of course, when Justin gets out, he's got the major height advantage on Briscoe, but they never did agree on whose fault that one was.
Well, no, you know, actually, Briscoe came back later back at the trailer and apologized to Justin.
Oh,
yeah,
so he agreed with our call.
Yes, he did.
Wow. Yep. And you notice that they both kept their helmets on while they were sparring with each other. And both of the Dreyer and Reinbold cars have trouble here on
almost
the same lap.
There's Justin right behind EJ, looking to the inside.
Oh, yes, the left front suspension is broken for Justin Wilson, which is why he didn't continue. The moment that he hit the pavement, watch that. Yes, sure enough, it's broken that steering rod or tie rod. EJ Viso may or may not have damage.
Yellow comes out, first full course caution on lap number 24. We're now on lap 25, and the pits are open. So again, we're going to watch this very, very carefully because of the fact that the pits are so very tight here at Mid-Ohio as the 8 car goes on the hook.
This is the front side of that first window in terms of, I mean, you come in right now, you may have to be in 2 more times. You're going to have to make fuel, if you will, with coming in right now. You're not just going to get to the one more
But they'll get some yellow fuel mileage, which is almost 3 times as much because it'll still take a lap or 2 before they get back to green. I think you're solidly inside the window, but yes, Robbie, you'll have to save fuel. What I will say, you'd be crazy to short fill here. You got to take all the fuel while you're there. So you
heck you do. So you can get to that last lap.
You're not going to see anybody fill it up short and try to get out and get track position, I don't think, because then you're toast. You have 1 more stop for sure, or 2 more.
But fellas, when they come onto the pits, look at the white line that delineates the inside and the outside of pit road. As they come down, this is such a narrow pit road, it is going to get a little dicey coming around the corner. If you're towards the front like Will Power, Scott Dixon, and Dario Franchitti, you've got to be careful. And if you're behind them, you've got to be extra careful because you have such an early turn in. This is going to be wild and woolly under yellow here in these narrow pit boxes.
Well, the advantage goes to Will Power. He's the very first pit box at the far end. Lindy?
Well, we've talked about how tight pit lane is. Takuma Sato might be the lucky one. It's not big, but he's got the tiniest gap in front of him because he's next to the Firestone stand. It's not much, but it's there. You can see he's getting the red tires. He says the balance of the car is good. He has asked for no changes. He is down, and there looks like there might be. Here we go. They got it. They got all the fuel in. Robbie?
Whoa! There we go.
Castro Neves and Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Yep.
And there, I don't think one of those cars may be damaged.
And guys, I was down here trying to find out who went out first. Was it Dario or is it going to be Power? But they are so close to where both of these lanes, all three lanes, funnel in. There is no way you can fit three cars into that one lane, and that's what happened there at the pit out. Both of the cars that are up front, Power as well as Dario Franchitti, both no changes, but Power went for scruff blacks, where Franchitti went brand new set of blacks.
And it's pretty obvious there's a problem with Ryan Hunter-Reay's car.
Look at his wheel. He was just kind of going straight there. His wheel's cocked to the left.
And there's the bent suspension piece. You can see clearly that top steering arm.
Here's what happened. Contact between Elio and Ryan Hunter-Reay, and Briscoe was right up there also.
It looked like Briscoe was clean, though. I don't think he got hurt
so. Yep. All right, under our first full caution here at Mid-Ohio.
It's back, the Barclays Premier League, and this season Sky Sports has 115 games, all live and in fantastic high definition.
Dismiss has come early.
Kicking off Saturday at noon with Spurs v Man City.
First class.
On Ford Super Sunday at 3:30, Liverpool face Arsenal. Then Monday Night Football is back with a bang. It's Man United against Newcastle at 7.
Oh, what an introduction!
All three games live and in high definition on Sky Sports.
Now, with every Dr. Pepper, Fanta, and Sprite,
Excuse me, I'm ringing.
you get 50p free mobile credit.
He's back! Malcolm!
Hi, boys. Dan. Thanks. Jamie. It's me. Mark. I've forgotten yours, Carl. Take mine. I'll nip back.
Nip back? On that? That'll take you another week.
New Carling Taste Lock can. Locks in the great taste.
Malcolm, get us a taste lock, can.
When the last angel falls, the battle for mankind begins. Legion on DVD now.
Here's something refreshing. An ingenious new car that actually recycles energy as it drives, combining two engines, one petrol, one electric. They deliver smooth performance, as well as ultra-quiet electric driving, giving you up to 74 miles per gallon. The beautifully engineered Toyota Auris with hybrid Synergy Drive. Get your energy back.
On lap 23 of Mid-Ohio, we had Justin Wilson in all sorts of trouble alongside EJ Vizo. EJ Vizo will say he didn't see him coming, I'm sure. Johnny, what do you think?
Well, I think Justin's quite well alongside. Not wheel to wheel, but Ernesto must have known he was there. It takes to the grass to try and avoid a collision, but I think EJ probably should have left a little bit more room.
So if he'd left it another turn later, then we'd have been at the same corner he had his off on in qualifying. So, well, as you know, we also had everybody going down into pit road then. Ryan Hunter-Reay got caught up with Briscoe and Elio, and Ryan Hunter-Reay is having a new arm put on his car at the moment. Let's go back to the track then.
Dario gets better traction and amazingly gets by, but look at the three-car sandwich here.
That's Ryan Hunter-Reay just kind of going to the high side, and his right front just getting into Elio.
Look how crazy it is coming out of the pits here. Wow.
Oh, that did touch a little bit of Briscoe.
Yeah, you're
Ryan
right.
Hunter-Reay's car went over to his right rear, but I don't think he probably hurt it.
Another angle.
Fighting to the line.
And Castro Neves got into the wall.
Yeah. And did you see how Dario beat power to the line? I mean, Will was trying to get those rear tires to hook up and go, but Dario just had the momentum.
Couple of guys responsible for this full course caution. EJ Viso and Justin Wilson. They're both with Jack.
We're going to start with EJ first, your version of what happened.
Well, I think the overtaking was made too late in the corner. I was already turning and I just suddenly felt that bang in the rear wheel. I mean, it was too late to make that movement in the corner.
Let's go get a word from Justin Wilson, also has been kind enough to come here. Justin, we heard from EJ. Now let's hear your version of what happened.
I just got a run on EJ going down into turn 4, and I wasn't quite wheel to wheel. I was maybe 3/4 of the way past, and we hit the brakes, and I felt he started the slow diagonal for the apex, and so I was trying to back out. I'm all locked up, and just didn't leave any room for me to back out of it. I'm sorry for everyone in the Z-Line Designs car and driving my involved. We had a good race going. The car was good. We're keeping up on black tires, but you got to leave some racing room. Your corner or not, you got to leave some room to back out.
And Lindy, I asked for them to appear together on camera, and Justin respectfully declined. Let's check in with you.
Oh, interesting. Thank you, Jack. Well, remember back at Sato's pit stop, it seemed like it was taking a little while. Well, there was something wrong with the fuel. They don't know what it is, but it was just taking so long to go in. They ended up getting a full fuel load, but by the time it should have been done, it wasn't. You can see them behind me talking about it right now, trying to figure out what's wrong. Robbie?
Well, Ryan Hunter-Reay lost a lot of positions, but he did not lose a lap. Broken toe link and had to change the nose. His crew not only made those changes, they got him out on the lead lap. The green flag is going to come out, so we'll see how hard Ryan Hunter-Reay can charge that Izar car through the field.
Tagliani and TK are running up front. Let's see how quickly they can be run down, if they can at all, by Dario Franchitti running back there in third spot into turn number 2.
And Dario Franchitti will not be too worried about them. They will be on lighter fuel. He knows that they have to stop 2 more times. And so as long as Will Power and company are behind Dario, he will not worry too much. If an opening's there, he'll take it, but he's not going to force the issue.
But I don't think they're going to be holding him up too much. I mean, TK, once he got clear, oh, look, a move. There goes Elio down the inside of Briscoe.
Uh-oh. There's
just as we were talking about Sato.
Man. He had lost 6 positions during the pit stop and went from 3rd to 9th or whatever, and
11th.
now 11th, and now
11th.
this.
And you got to think, I mean, obviously he's like, we've lost that. We had a good car. We lost positions there. I got to do everything I can to make them up. And you do have to think that way.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously not where, you got to be aggressive, but not where it can take you out of the race.
Right.
And that's where the team feels bad, too. I mean, they obviously were trying to get the fuel, and they know they put him behind. He took a risk. I mean, we'll wait to see exactly what kind of risk he took. But
and that's just the psyche, the mental psyche of a driver, of growing and being able to manage your emotions. I mean, that's just part of it.
Here's what happened.
Oh, yeah. That was just in too hot. That was trying to make up for lost time on pit road.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the tires were there, did their job. Now, here's a great move by Castro Neves. That's an aggressive move, especially on a car that you've already rubbed the pit wall with on his teammate at the very same time.
And your teammate should be maybe a little favorable to seeing your other teammate down the inside of you. Yes.
Hopefully. Well, it didn't happen in Edmonton.
Whoa! It's safe to say that Sato just was carrying so much speed, no matter what was going to happen, he wasn't going to make that corner. Woo!
No chance.
Off you go.
It's a good thing he didn't take anybody else with him.
Yeah.
So our second, almost consecutive full course caution here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course after 29 of 85 laps. Tagliani and TK are up front out of pit sequence. It's Franchitti, Power, and Castro Neves completing the top 5. Race number 12 at Mid-Ohio, well underway here on Versus. Stay with us for more racing.
This
summer, Sky One brings you a music competition like no other.
I think you've got a lot more to give.
Real talent, real music, real opportunities.
It's about giving the people the power.
Including the gig of a lifetime. Performing live in front of thousands at the Wembley Arena final, where the winner walks away with £100,000.
That felt big, man.
Must be the music. Start Sunday at 7 on Sky One HD.
It's the prices. This'll make them easy to swallow. Discount vouchers. Free from Money Supermarket. You can save on meals out. New clothes. Even vouchers for theme parks. Yeah! You saved my life. Even better. I saved you a fortune. To think I only came in for a takeaway.
There you are, madam. All done. And if you buy 4 Goodyear tyres at Quick Fit, you get 25% off. I'll show myself out.
Never been beaten. That team from the town of Clonmel. The home of Magners cider, where the apples are never picked. They just wait until they fall. Ripe and ready to be made into Magners. Which is why they say, there's method in the Magners.
This is good. This is really good.
Lap 31 then, and as you can see, Dario Franchitti got out in third place, Will Power in fourth. That's only because, of course, I think it was Tagliani stayed out, and obviously Kanaan was in a little earlier on, so he's on a different strategy as well. So Tagliani and Kanaan stayed out on track, and that puts Dario Franchitti effectively in the lead of the race. But of course, strategy-wise, we just don't know what can turn around during the course of the afternoon. Now, looking down through the order, we're waiting to rejoin our colleagues at trackside. We're now on lap 32 of the 85, our second session of yellow flags. Takuma Sato was the man that found himself trying to make up too much ground after a pretty poor pit stop. I think our colleagues did speculate that he might have been in a little bit of trouble, and when he did get out there, he tried to make it all back in one go, James.
Yeah, a little bit over enthusiastic there from Taku, and yeah, it's a shame. The big winner actually at the moment is Alex Tagliani. Actually pitted 3 laps before the safety car, the first safety car, so he's only 3 laps out of sync to the rest of the field. So he's actually running up there now on merit.
Whereas Tony Kanaan was something like 13 laps out of sync, I think. I'm glad you got the old laptop with you there.
He's 21 laps since he last pitted, and they can go with the caution here, probably make it 32 laps.
Okay then, the dice has been rolled and we're about to go green, so let's go back and collect our colleagues.
I think, Jan, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you. I understand what you're talking about with Tony Kanaan. When you take a look, Kanaan pitted so much earlier. When he has to pit again, I think that's an issue. He has 21 laps since his last pit stop. But what I want to show you and what I want to draw attention to is right here. Basically, Alex Tagliani only pitted 2 laps before that caution, before everybody else pitted. With this, what I'm finding out from the Honda engineers, believe it or not, guys, these cars under caution are making enough mileage that you can add 3 to 3.5 green flag laps for every lap of caution. I like what Tags has done. It's a gamble, but it could play out in his favor by the end of the race. Green is out, guys. Back to you.
The 2 up front are shown as the biggest gainers. Alex Tagliani and Tony Kanaan lead them to the Apex Brazil restart.
And that is a great move for Tags. I mean, he came in just 2 laps before all those guys, so now he's pretty close to being in sequence with them, and he's got great track position. So that's worked out well in this case.
A A couple of guys running at the back of the lead lap, namely J.R. Hildebrand and Ryan Hunter-Reay, did make pit stops during this caution to top off.
And actually, even though Jack disagrees with me, we actually were saying the same thing. I was saying that Tagliani and Kanaan should not pit, that they should go after it and see what they can do. We know that Kanaan, yes, is going to have to make 2 more stops, but Tagliani, and Jack is absolutely correct, that with that yellow, he should only have to stop 1 more time. So that worked out to be a very, very nice gamble for Alex Tagliani.
You know what, Jan? I love it. You know what? We'll see if we agree to disagree.
Hey, we're on the same page here, Jack. We're agreeing.
Elio Castro-Neves has Will Power, his teammate, up ahead of him.
And it looks as though Elio really has got a pretty good car right now. He's getting right underneath the back of Will.
If you talk to Elio, he says he has a loose car right now, Robbie. He's fighting that a little bit. Tim Cindric said they were concerned that he might have a little bit of toe. You know, when you made that contact with the wall, a little bit of a toe problem. But Ryan Briscoe got behind him and said he doesn't see anything wrong, so everything should be good for the number 3 car, Elio Castro-Neves.
And if you remember back, that was a pretty good hit we saw. I mean, he took a good hit on the left side from Ryan Hunter-Reay and got out into the pit wall, as you said, Jan. It's like, man, he even clipped that.
And look at the black and orange car there of Simona Di Silvestro running in 7th spot under attack from Marco Andretti.
Yeah, just a kind of, that's a fill your mirrors. Can I break your concentration? No, not that time, but I'm back here.
Well, let me say here to wrap up this whole thing about the past, we probably made fun of you two, but it is a fact that you were both champions in your own right, so we do owe you that much.
But it wasn't long.
I feel so much better.
Thank you.
Now for Simona Di Silvestro, what great company as she puts the heat here on Ryan Briscoe. Remember that her primary car burned after a bad crash, and they had to go to the backup car, which is an earlier chassis and much heavier. So she's carrying more weight on the car, which is 2 or 3 tenths of a second, the team has told me. And with the kind of budget they have, to be chasing down Ryan Briscoe with a heavier, older car, she's doing a fantastic job.
Well, she gets better every time out in the race car, working closer with her guys. And, you know, one area that she's really excelled in, a little spin off there.
Jay Howard. Driving for Sarah Fisher Racing.
That is going to bring out a full course because you're stuck in that pea gravel up there in the keyhole. You're just in an impact zone. There's no getting around it.
So we're saying that is good for Tagliani, but bad for Kanaan, in my view.
And the full course caution does come out as we were on board with Dan Weldon there for a moment, who's running up in 9th position, but Jay Howard is stuck in the gravel.
You know, the pea gravel is a good thing because it definitely slows down momentum of a race car if you lose control. But the flip side is if you don't have momentum of going through it and you slide through it that direction, you're going to sink down in it instead of kind of bahaing through it and try and get out to the grass. Jack?
Well, Takuma Sato has stopped by after he's been released by the medical group, and let's go and take a look on the big screen here and tell us what happened as we watched from on board of Scott Dixon.
Yeah, I tried to overtake Scott and taking inside, but just cold tire, cold brake, and full tank of fuel, we just couldn't stop. And the inside was so dusty, and no, he just overshoot.
Tough to have him out, guys. Remember, he qualified the best, a career best, just yesterday, and everybody thinks this guy's going to win one before the season's out.
Alex Tagliani and Tony Kanaan are off sequence. Remember what happened in Edmonton? Boom.
Yep, hello. So what do you think Alex is thinking right now with this guy behind him?
Again, those two off sequence. Running in 3rd spot is Dario Franchitti, then Will Power and Elio Castro-Neves.
Hey guys, let me show you a little bit when we talk about trying to keep all 4 wheels on the ground and the balance that's needed. Easiest way to remember it, these are like, well, there's a race car. Take a table. Have you ever been to a place where all of a sudden when you go and sit in, it rocks back and forth and you've got to wedge it one way or the other? Well, basically, that's what your shock, damper, and your spring combination do. So what you want to do is have all 4 legs of your table on the ground all the time. Shocks and springs and dampers are the way to do it. Let's go back to you.
Actually, Professor B has a feature on that, and if we have the time, we'll get it to you, but we want to show you all the racing that's going on here at the Izod IndyCar Series race. All right, the green flag comes out, and we're back to racing once again.
Look at Tags timed that pretty well. He got himself about 6, 7 lengths.
He did not use the overtake assist. He just got a really nice start. Now, I will say Jack is correct, because I did say earlier that Dario would not be worried about Tagliani or Kanaan. That's what he's respectfully disagreeing with. That's correct. Because in the meantime, he's now made good fuel. He won't worry about Kanaan, but he will certainly worry about Tagliani now, who should be good to go.
Well, I think, again, the driver's worried about anything. As a driver, you just need to drive as hard as you can from beginning to end, no matter what. I mean, you got to be smart, but a driver, you just hit your marks, be consistent, especially at a place like as physical as here. You got to stay with it and stay after it and pace yourself.
On board with the second place car there of Tony Kanaan. We'll reset the field for you on this Honda through the field. There's TK in second position to the leader, Alex Tagliani, hoping to become the 4th Canadian to win here at Mid-Ohio. And in third position is Dario Franchitti. Started in second, he beat Will Power out of the pit area and now runs in third position as Will Power runs fourth.
And we saw where Castro Neves, who's sitting right behind him, was hounding him. He's right there. And you got all the Penske cars right in a row there. Power in 4, Elio in 5th, and Briscoe in 6th. Hello. Taking a look back at Briscoe.
There is Briscoe in 6th, and Simona, who Jan talked about in our grid rundown, is looking good, Jan, in 7th spot.
But so is Marco Andretti right behind her. He had a very good warm-up. Didn't have a great weekend up until that point, but they've obviously got the car much more to his liking by the time of the morning warm-up.
Scott Dixon.
And I talked to Dixon before this. I said, what do you got to do to win this race again? He's like, well, the key for us and our team is green stops. If we have yellow stops, that doesn't help me. I need green stops because he's so good on that in-lap and out-lap.
How about a shout-out to this rookie on the Izod IndyCar Series this year, Bertrand Baguette from Belgium. He's in the top 10, running in 10th position.
Again, as I said earlier, the black and white results doesn't do it justice of what that Conquest Racing has done with Bertrand. Really doesn't.
Started 15th, working his way through. He's one of the few at the moment on the alternates. Lots of people taking this middle stint to run on the blacks.
Behind him is Dan Weldon, the National Guard car.
Combination of 4, 5, and 6. You go over that little hill there, you get light, and from this point on, as you come through that 4, 5, and 6, you don't breathe again until you get back on the front straightaway. That's how much you're working at this. And Rafa right there, just going through that light right-hander, turn 9, Thunder Alley up along there, talking with Rafa, the driver's meeting, says, how are things going? He says, I don't know what I got going on. Oh, man.
Here's Graham Rahal running in 14th position. This is the second Newman Haas entry.
We know Graham has the speed. Obviously, they had that issue where they didn't qualify well. Now he's just kind of got to do something to get him out of sequence and get track position,
Alex Lloyd drives the number 19 car for Dale Coyne, celebrating 100 years of Boy Scouting this year.
Hideki Muto, who now is behind his teammate Ray Hall, and coming up from behind, not only is there Mirror, but Ryan Hunter-Reay. We've certainly documented him trying to force his way back into competition, but when you change those steering arms, oftentimes you can't get the car exactly the way it was before.
But still, the fact that he didn't lose a lap and they got that done, hey, that's a great shout out to your guys in the pit lane and getting that done for you.
Behind him, his teammate Danica Patrick runs in 20th position. There are 22 cars on the lead lap.
difficult to pass at this circuit. We've talked about that. But to get a pass done, you got to be close enough to the competition in front of you, and then that guy needs to make a little bit of a mistake or a little bit of a hiccup for you to get by. It really is that difficult. But you got to be hounding him and try and force him into making that mistake.
Francesco Dracconi driving the number 34 car for Conquest Racing in his first start in the Eyes on IndyCar Series. He's an Italian from the northern part of Italy, has run Formula 3000 and Formula 3, and hoping to make a mark here in the United States. Tony Kanaan runs second here at Mid-Ohio. Alex Tagliani is the leader of this race with Franchitti, Power, and Castro Neves in the top 5.
Understand. Don't just look. Come on and take it.
Boomers all round?
Yeah.
Nice one. Boomers all round?
Try new Kit Kat Crush'ems from KFC, full of delicious Kit Kat bits. You never forget your first Crush'em.
Angel falls. The battle for mankind begins. Legion on DVD now.
Alex Tagliani continues to lead here at Mid-Ohio. You saw on non-stop that Tony Kanaan, second place, came in for the pit stop. And Robbie, it was a quick one.
8 seconds for Tony Kanaan. They're disappointed, though, at Team Kanaan because they didn't want to see those yellows. They were hoping they could have stretched it earlier and everybody would have to have, more stops. But as Jan and Jack have been going back and forth, everybody can make it in just one more stop. So they were disappointed with the yellows, but going out there and charging hard nonetheless. Brand new set of red tires, no changes otherwise.
He comes out just ahead of Francesco Dracconi in 21st position. And we have reached the halfway point of the race. Teammates Will Power and Castro Neves battle for third, and Ryan Briscoe is in the 5th position.
Yeah, they've gapped back from Elio back to Briscoe. It's about 2 seconds. Really hear the elevation change. And what I say by that, you see the elevation change, but you can hear it, I should say, as you hear the extra wheel spin. It just kind of gets light going across that combination.
Speaking of elevation change, we'll go to a track in 2 weeks that has a huge elevation change at Infineon Raceway, Sonoma, California. That 2 weeks from today.
And very similar circuits from the standpoint that you got these combination corners and momentum and flow, and if you get behind in one, you never get caught up. You got to stay ahead of it.
And that will conclude the road course schedule for 2010. Then we wrap it up with 4 ovals: Chicagoland, Kentucky, Motegi in Japan, and the finale at Homestead Miami Speedway. By the way, they are still working on the 2011 Eyes on IndyCar schedule. It is expected to be released soon, and when it is, we will have it for you here on Versus. Franchitti about 1.5 seconds behind the leader, Tagliani.
At this point right now, just kind of the mindsets of Tags, Dario. I mean, you know, they all have some good gaps between them. They're not forcing anybody's hand. They're just kind of clicking off some laps, not making mistakes, maybe saving a little bit of fuel just so they can go as far as possible. But, you know, they're just kind of going in the train as long as they're not getting hung up.
And guys, for Dario Franchitti right now, it's he's really confused. He's in a conundrum. He knows that if he has any chance of winning the overall championship, he has got to gain some points on willpower. Well, he's doing so right now, but what he likes to do is he likes to lead laps in hopes that maybe he can gain the bonus point for that. But right now, what he needs to do is conserve fuel, so he can't chase Alex Tagliani down. What about your leader? Let's check in with Lindy.
Have Rob Edwards, a strategist for Tags. First of all, how long are you going to try and stay out here with him?
We're looking to go to lap 55, 56, enough to make sure that we can get to the end still running flat out.
What made you take that gamble at the beginning?
We just had a feeling.
Yeah, your team was joking. We could feel that caution coming. And what's he saying? How's the car feel?
He's actually very happy. I mean, you know, when you're out front, everything feels great, right? But I mean, he's running the quickest laps he's run all race, and he's feeling good. We're just trying to stay doing what we're doing now.
Rob, thank you.
No problem.
Bob?
And it's worth pointing out that he is not Lindy, as Rob just confirmed, and as certainly Jack pointed out. He is not off of sequence because that 2 laps that he pitted earlier, because of the caution periods, he now is going to only have to stop the same number of times as the cars behind him. But when he said lap 55 or 56, he will have to stop most likely a lap or 2 sooner than Dario and the people behind, and that's that old cold tire penalty we talked about that may play in the favor of those behind him.
I have the man in charge of Target, Chip Ganassi. Chip Ganassi here, and you're talking to Dario or talking to your crew here. How comfortable is he in second spot right now?
Well, he wants to win, you know. I mean, but first and foremost, we got to gain points on willpower. He's behind us right now. We want to make sure we keep him there.
How good is the car? Have you made any changes as you went along?
No, I mean, we haven't made a change to the car. We came in, put tires on it, put fuel in it, sent him away. And but it's still a long race. Anything can happen.
All right. Tell me about the day you've been having this weekend. You've been having pretty good for Target, Chip Ganassi.
We've been having a pretty good weekend. We won the Daytona prototype race in Watkins Glen last night, and just a few moments ago we won the Cup race, the Nextel Cup race with Montoya. So we're pretty excited.
And that's Target's first ever victory in NASCAR. Got to be a pretty special day after a pretty special a couple of weeks ago as well.
Certainly a special day.
Well, it looks like Target Jake Ganassi's been on a roll, guys. Can they do it today? Dario Franchitti told me this car only gets better as they get more grip out there on the track, so things are looking good for them today.
Well, they are having a good couple of weeks. Of course, Jamie McMurray won the Brickyard 400 a few weeks ago. Wow. 2010 major wins for Chip Ganassi Racing, Jamie McMurray at the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400, and of course Dario at the Indianapolis 500. Back in a moment on Versus.
Sky Anytime. The best of Sky is ready to watch when you are. Join Fern Cotton as we count down to the incredible new series, Must Be the Music. Hard rock is calling you with the voices of Stevie Wonder and Paul McCartney. And a real showstopper that keeps getting better, Judy Garland in A Star Is Born. Press red on your TV guide to discover something new with Sky Anytime.
Yeah, it was all free back in the day, man. Even festivals were free. You need a mortgage for tickets now. So my 2 months free car insurance from Aviva comes in very handy.
Want 2 months free when you buy this year's car insurance? Go direct. Get the Aviva deal.
He's back! Malcolm!
Done. Thanks. Jamie. It's me. Mark. I've forgotten yours, Carl. Take mine. I'll nip back.
Nip back? On that? That'll take you another week.
New Carling Taste Lock can. Locks in the great taste.
Malcolm, get us a taste lock, can.
Time. Finding the right home insurance deal takes time. Have you really got the best price? Because Direct Line guarantee to beat the price of your current home insurer. Just a single call or click could save you time and money. Remember, Direct Line aren't on price comparison sites, so to beat the price of your current home insurer, call us now or visit directline.com. Well done, boys.
Thanks, but we're not used to bit parts.
What do you want, a red carpet?
Yes, please.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington. Alex Tagliani for Fats Racing leads round 12 of the series. And we're on board now with Scott Dixon. The undulations then, and you can see Marco Andretti in front, who's looked pretty leery a little bit earlier on. Simona Di Silvestro is just in front of Marco. Let's go back.
On board with Scott Dixon here, yep.
Yeah, that turn 11, that's just a very quick, fast, sweeping left-hander at 120 miles an hour.
That's Marco Andretti up ahead. Marco is running 7th and Scott 8th.
See the speed as you're rolling into turn 1 there. He was going 148 miles approaching that corner. Dumps the throttle a little bit down to about 130, back on the gas.
Highest number we've seen at the end of the straightaway is 169, right? We saw that
Yes, we did.
We'll find out if...
well, maybe.
Here comes Simona Di Silvestro. She's still running in 6th spot.
I was starting to say earlier about Simona, one area that she's really learned and growing is in qualifying, how to maximize what you can from the sticker Firestone tires. You know, they have that sweet spot. And that's really, I think, part of why she's qualified so well these last 2 weekends, both at Edmonton and here, just really showing it. And it's about just her ability to say, okay, now's the time to strike. The tires are at their optimum, and it's time to put down a lap.
Well, I went up to Michael Cannon to just get a checkup on Simona, and he was writing all these numbers into a chart. He told me as soon as she left the grid, they lost all the telemetry. And guys, you could probably talk more about what that means they're having to do, but he said we're just having to do everything by hand and figure out all her fuel numbers.
And if you don't have that telemetry, it certainly makes life more difficult, but Michael Cannon started engineering in the days when you didn't have telemetry, so he's had to revert back to the old days. There might be some new engineers without the computer who'd be thinking, how do I do?
And how many times have we seen that little shot where Marco's behind Simona, and right as they're going down into turn 4, it just kind of pops out a little bit, I'm filling your mirror, and he's still there.
Dan Weldon is still there in the 10th position, having a good run in the National Guard car. Panther Racing.
Pretty solid run. I mean, you got to just come back to how competitive this field is all the way throughout. I mean, you know, you have one little hiccup, and it can take you from running in the top 5 to being back in the 15th. I mean, so you got to have everything tuned up. You as the driver, you know, getting along with your engineer, making sure the changes that you're making to the car are taking you forward. If you're making changes and going backwards, you just don't get caught up over the course of a race weekend. So pretty good run.
Weldon is currently 9th in the point standings. His best finish this year, of course, was at Indianapolis, where he was runner-up to Dario. Top of your screen, you can see the interval between first and second. It's just about a half a second.
The preparation on that car, that Panther car, Danica heading out of pit lane, so she's been in for service on lap 53. So that would be a stretch to get to the end.
Yes, that would be most likely because you didn't get all the fuel on the previous pit stop, and now she's really going to have to soft pedal it to make it to the end.
But baby, that's what they're banking on right now, is to get some yellows and let her do that and hopefully gain track position.
Graham Rahal running 13th.
You can't really tell too much from looking at the top of his helmet with NTB up there, but just like he had last year, that's a retro helmet, just like what his dad used to run. And it's pretty cool that he just pays that tribute to his dad. I mean, as a fan coming up, I remember very clearly the helmet that Bobby was wearing, the red top with the blue band around it and the white stripes.
And he hasn't given hard. He's pushing. Marias on pit road. A few other cars setting up.
A lot simpler when there's nobody else in front of you or behind you there, as tight as this place is.
Again, anyone who stops now is going to not be able to run flat out to the end. They might make it to the end, but they're not going to be able to be flat out. Jack?
Guys, as we get ready with the window opening, you're starting to see some early pit stops. For the leaders, what you want to watch very closely is, can Franchitti squeeze out an extra lap over Power and Castro Neves? For Alex Tagliani, the big question mark is, how deep into the window can he go? That's what we're looking at in this final one. Looks like Ryan Briscoe may be one of the first of the leaders to come on to pit road very shortly.
If one of these Penske cars pits before Tagliani, hats off to Tagliani for having it. That was Briscoe. He took the pit lane. So amazing that Tagliani stopped 2 laps ahead and Briscoe is on pit road. That's some good fuel mileage for Tagliani, but he most likely will be in next lap around.
Here comes Ryan.
It looks like they're going with the Firestone Reds back onto the number 6 car. This is the winner from back in Texas. That was an oval. Now we're on a road course. And boy, you see just how close it is for not only the drivers but the pit crews, as the target car, Scott Dixon, just ahead of him.
Well, that's surprising for Scott Dixon. He was the master of making fuel here last year. Robbie, you mentioned that at the opening of the show. He went a lap longer than anybody. So he's been pushing hard. Here comes Kanaan taking advantage of cold-tired Briscoe.
And these are the money laps right now. What we're watching, how people cycle in and out and get tires right now, these are the money laps.
Alex Tagliani should come on to pit road, and then Dario Franchitti knows that will be, as you call him, Robbie, the money laps. The moment that he sees Tagliani peel off, he's going to just nail it and give it everything that he has to try and get a time advantage before he stops.
Yeah, he's got to go a little bit faster. Can he go a second faster these 2 laps and give him a little bit more of a gap?
Lindy.
Alex Tagliani in and right on his marks. He has asked for used red tires. This team did not test here last week like a lot of other teams did, so Alex said, we came in here with a tall order. He said right before this race as he pulls away that their goal today was to finish in the top 6.
He may be able to do that. Dario Franchitti picks up the lead.
So everybody really is liking the reds. Even though those were used reds, he said, hey, I want to put those back on. So it's not just that maybe they have more grip, it's also the balance it can put to the car, because sometimes the reds have more bite in the rear. The rears really settle the back of the car, assuming they don't go away.
Also the standpoint, like you said, that durability of the reds has just been fantastic here.
Yeah.
And that just gives you that extended window.
Yeah, and normally that is the question mark, is how long of a life do they have? And here it's been okay. Absolutely.
That's what Jack is talking about. How many laps can Dario do? That's one more in the books.
Okay, let's see what he does. He's going to trip the line here right now, guys. That last time by a 109.2, so he ran about 0.2 quicker than the prior lap. So you got to keep pressing. You know, we talk about tenths, just 0.2 here or there, but that's all it takes.
Yep. Because right now you've got Tagliani running around with a full load of fuel on cold tires, and we should keep an eye on his lap time.
Wow, here comes Kanaan again.
Yeah, Tagliani came by 1:32. Of course, that factors in part of the pit stop.
Robbie Floyd.
Well, I noticed a little bit of pit courtesy because Helio Castroneves just in front. They went to get their stuff out, and they said, hey, let's wait till Tony goes. You see him going out with brand new South Black Firestone Firehawks, and now goes TK, and now Helio sets up just in front of his spot. So a little pit courtesy for the guy you know is coming in just ahead.
Oh, this is not at all what Dario, in fact, was telling me. Will Power was really concerned about Milcaduno being on the track and said, I hope the championship doesn't come down to that, to someone who, in his view, shouldn't be on the racetrack. Oh, it's exactly what he talked about. He almost got taken out by Duno.
And Elio decides to come in.
And Franchitti stays out. So right now, Dario needs to keep laying down those laps. He probably lost a couple of those tenths we just talked about. He needs to get them back. And sure enough, he did. He lost a second on that last lap. Robbie?
And it looks like scuff flag's going to go on for Elio Castroneves. You're right, that little bump might have helped him a little bit. Trying to get that car completely full, and he goes back out. Elio Castroneves may be fortunate in that instant.
So that little hang-up cost Dario a second.
Oh, yeah.
1 second.
Hideki Muto looks like having some problems if the car stalls on pit lane.
Get the jumper. There's the plug cable to the jumper. They're just putting it over the wall.
So Dario has just got by Milka, and she stays to the inside of the track, and then on the outside goes Power, gets out of the groove, gets a big wiggle, and he was thinking, ooh, baby, that was a little too close for comfort.
Well, too, when you get on the outside of that track, in that section of the racetrack, there is marbles up on the high side of the racetrack.
And you can see that Tagliani is behind Castroneves.
Right.
Castroneves trying to get his car up to temperature. Tagliani is already there, but that's why track position helps you.
Yeah,
if you're in front, you can hold him up.
Tags has got to pounce right now as he sees that little stripe on the right rear of Elio, knowing his tires are coming up to temperature. Now's the time to strike.
And the third car there was Ryan Briscoe. Simona Di Silvestro has completed her final pit stop, or what should be her final pit stop.
And she comes out right behind this group, because there they go. Wow. Briscoe shoots by, so that was nice work for her.
Now Dario's crew is set up.
So this is what just is going to be really fun to see, is him coming in, and where is he going to cycle back in this group? Is he going to be at the front?
Yep.
Or is he going to have to fight his way in there somewhere?
25 laps to go.
Got to keep an eye on Will Power as well, because he may pit at the same time as Franchitti.
Guys, keep in mind, because they have come a little bit longer than everybody else, they won't have to put as much fuel in. We always talk about it. Fuel travels at 3 gallons a second. Here comes Dario for service.
Robbie Floyd, he's headed toward you.
And Dario Franchitti getting ready to pull in right now. He's going with the Firestone Firehawk reds. The right front will be a brand new red. It's just in front of his pit box is the number 12 of Will Power. They're holding Dario one turn on the left front of the wing. Now goes Dario well ahead of Will Power.
Yep.
And everybody's picking the reds.
And look how far ahead they are of the next group. So that's why you run longer. He goes out in front of Castroneves, Tagliani, and Briscoe easily.
Yes, he does. Wow, look at the gap.
Yeah. That's why you want to stay on course as long as possible.
Well, Ryan Hunter-Reay hasn't pitted yet. He is officially the leader, but when he pits, it'll be Franchitti, Power, Castroneves, Tagliani, Briscoe, and Di Silvestro. We'll be back with more at Mid-Ohio in a moment on Versus.
Just as we see Graham Rahal go across the sandpit and into the barrier, so the dust is going to settle again. This race couldn't get much more exciting from where we're sat here at the moment. I'm coming out in a cold sweat. Dario Franchitti, absolutely, he had a red hot in-lap and made it so quick. Johnny, I have to say that he took every advantage in that lap that he could, didn't he?
That's right, him and Will Power both over a second faster than anybody else's in lap, and that just shows how much commitment they're putting in today.
Superb stuff then as we watch Ryan Hunter-Reay coming down pit road as well. Now these are all final stops for all these drivers anyway, so the Andretti Autosport crew get on top of Ryan Hunter-Reay's car, but there will be a full course caution, I'm sure. Remember, Ryan Hunter-Reay had a suspension change a little bit earlier on. You don't see many of them during the course of a race either, James.
No, that was the first time I think I've seen someone pit and actually not lose a lap and change a steering arm on the car. So that was a good effort by the Andretti Green crew.
Lap 62 of 85 going by there. Dan Weldon in the Panther car gets underneath him, of course. No tyre warmers, of course, in these cars. I wonder whether there's ever going to be an argument for that, because it can make it hard getting back out there on a race course with pretty much stone cold tyres. Still green, I'm surprised here, so maybe they've managed to get that car out of the way as we look at the magnificent Dario Franchitti. Look at what he's doing. He's just blowing them away. Let's get back to the track then, to our commentators.
just as we were going to break, Graham Rahal stuffed it into the sand trap. Here's the onboard camera.
He's back running now, but that is the very corner he had trouble with a few moments ago.
Here's the replay. Oh, down in the keyhole.
A little bit of lockup going down the inside of Weldon. Going through the pea gravel, which he does. He kind of bumps into the tire wall here. Obviously finds reverse and sneaks back out on the grass area.
Yep, saves the full course caution.
There's the lockup right inside of Weldon.
Very similar to what we saw with Sato, but in this case it was with hot tires.
And that's where you just got to be heads up for Weldon right now. He says, okay, he's coming down. Man, he's going fast. Don't let me turn in. And right across your nose he goes.
And boy, he put some flat spots on those tires. You could see that right front had a big flat spot.
And when he goes back out on the track,
this is
all
live.
that pea gravel, he takes back out on that racetrack with him.
And this is a live shot now as we also have Draconi into the sand trap. And we do have a full course caution. It's our third of the afternoon. Francesco Draconi. And let's take a look here at Danica and Milka.
What was going on there? She looked in the mirror, so she knew she was coming.
Yeah, there's no history at this racetrack between those guys, huh?
Let's take a look at what happened to Draconi here. And just slides off.
The car gets a little bit light there, Bob. That's right where the car gets a little light and you get a little bit of wheel spin.
Down to Jack.
Guys, I want to take you back to Alex Tagliani's pit stop. You know, when you're dealing with just scant tenths of a second, I want to draw your attention to your fuel man right here. Okay, now let's roll it. Here's what I want to show you. They're done. He is in. They're loading with fuel. They're getting the tires done. The tires will be done. And watch very closely the fuel guy, because he has a bit of a miscue removing the fuel nozzle from the car. I counted it down and tried when we did the replay. It was about 0.3 of a second. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're trying to chase guys down, I wonder if 0.3 of a second would have positioned him one car in front of where he is right now.
Yep. Okay, so we're under caution once again. Our Izod Green pit stop performance, Alex Tagliani with a good in and out lap over Franchitti and Power. Take another break and be back in just a moment. Under caution here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
For the fourth time as on lap 63, Francesco Draconi is taken off. Or rather helped off, I should say, by the corner marshals as his Dreyer and Reinbold, Conquest car is removed from the track. Now with me, James Rossiter and Johnny Kane. I mean, this is going to be a cracking now dash for the flag, isn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, they've set it up really nicely here. Everybody's full of fuel. They've got all their stops done, and they can, with this caution, they can save a bit of fuel and really go for it to finish nice. So it's going to be a cracking race.
Let's take a look at Draconi. Just seemed to fall over himself a bit there, James. What was all that about?
I think it looks like he's maybe got a bit too much rear brake bias. He's just locked the rears going in, and that's caused the car to step out, and he didn't manage to gather it up.
Beached in the pit, so Draconi, I think, replacing Romancini this week in the Conquest car. So we saw a little bit of action a little earlier on between the girls out on the racetrack, well, at least two of them anyway. Danica Patrick that we've not seen much of, but Milka Duno seems to be getting in the way again. Although, having said that, last time we saw Milka Duno, she had a bit of a harsh rap, really. That time round, she was pinching Danica Patrick. A lot of history between those two. Some that we could go into and some we probably shouldn't, but highly amusing. But Danica made her way past. Talking of that last time round, Milka Duno found herself perhaps being criticised for, I think Will Power laid one across the top of her, but really did pinch her down into the corner, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, she pretty much held her line, to be fair, and Will obviously wanted to take as tight a line as possible and squeezed her a little bit, so I don't think she should be held accountable for that one.
Well, we can see that now by the power of television, and here it is, Will Power on the outside, then dropping down across the nose. He did really squeeze her quite hard. James, your view on that?
I think he just wanted to make her realise that he was actually there, because she could have quite easily pushed him out if seeing where all the other cars were. So I think he just wanted to make sure she knew that he was there and he was coming around the outside.
Do you know the 27th of our 27 qualifiers coming into this? 65 then of 85 gone. We're under our 4th caution at the moment. And you've got to say, this race is hotting up. Same Justin Wilson. I keep looking at his name going across the top there at the end of the field, and I feel so sorry for him. He had a difficult qualifying and an even worse race. Let's get back to the track then.
About 1 lap to go before green flag here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Dario Franchitti out in front, but the big story here with the Ryan Hunter-Reay camp and the Racing for Cancer crew is Tiana Bishop. Tiana Bishop, a cancer sufferer here on invitation for Ryan Hunter-Reay. What's it been like for you?
It's been really cool being here.
Is he one of your favorite drivers? Because I'm looking at your hands here, and your fingernails are telling a different story.
Well, I only knew Danica until I got here, and so she was my favorite, and now that I've gotten to know Ryan, it's kind of iffy for both.
All right, now tell me, this isn't your first IndyCar race. You had some experience meeting a famous IndyCar driver way back, didn't you? Tell me about that.
When I was little, Sam goes to our church, and he used to do it with Danica, so I kind of know him because he goes to my church. And
today was also special because we got to see you walk across the stage with Ryan Hunter-Reay. I believe we got that on camera. What was that like, walking in front of all those fans that they cheered both of you on?
It was pretty cool.
Awesome spot. I want to talk to the lady to your left. Of course, Racing for Cancer, one of Ryan Hunter-Reay's big sponsors. You're his fiance, Becky, but also they can donate through, what is it,
racingforcancer.org. If you go on the website, they're doing a campaign of 37 right now in honor of Ryan's mom. And of course, it's going to help out Tiana in the end too. So if you go to racingforcancer.org, you can see everything online, do your donations. And also at the track, if you're here, we have donation boxes set up at Andretti Hospitality and at the Racing for Cancer tent.
Great job, Becky Gordon. Checking out her man, Ryan Hunter-Reay, as well as Tiana. You know, he was in the back of the pack not too long ago. We said, how far can the Izod car go? He's currently in 13th.
And Robbie Buell knows all too well about kids and racing.
Sure do.
Program that's been going on for many, many years. All right, here we go. The green flag comes out, and we're back to racing. It's Dario Franchitti leading Will Power, Elio Castroneves, Alex Tagliani, Ryan Briscoe, and Milcaduno has spun.
Still fired up.
Yep. All right, so no full course caution. Here they come. Return number 3.
That's the moment, Dave Silvestro. You saw that wiggle. You're just going to say, weren't you, Robbie?
I was going to say, look at Dixon's got it. Look at he's having up. He's got the inside. There's nothing you can do, guys.
No.
That's what the rule allows it to happen. Now she has to set him back up and do the same thing back to him. Get a good run on him next time.
Oh, here comes Matos.
Matos to the inside of Baguette. Now Mario Moraes is... Moraes, a little bit of a wiggle.
Still wiggling. Trust me, Weldon in the National Guard car, he sees Moraes all over the place. He's like, hey, I want some of that. I'm coming.
And we just talked about Ryan Hunter-Reay. He's in that mix as well, right behind Weldon.
This is 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Baguette is 10th, and Ryan Hunter-Reay 13th. After the incident on pit road a little bit earlier that damaged some suspension but was repaired, and we're on board with him now. Weldon right up ahead of him through the keyhole, turn 2.
And what Ryan Hunter-Reay's just talking himself through there is he's coming off that keyhole. He wants to get power down. And we got Dracone, who spun there, coming on the front straightaway.
And Milka also had to take evasive action. So it's the second spin by Dracone here in just a few laps. And another full course caution will slow the field.
There's a little bit of debris on driver's left, screen right, so you're going to want to go on the curb side. You're going to want driver's right here, go on the outside.
Well, it's going to bring everybody back together for another exciting restart. I don't think Dario probably wants that, but good for us here.
Oh, they're having them go through the pits.
Yep.
Good idea.
17 laps to go here at Mid-Ohio. Under a full course caution, once again, it's Franchitti, Power, Castroneves, Tagliani, and Briscoe.
Which is about the last thing, of course, Dario Franchitti needs or wants at this particular point, just as he settles down. How difficult is it, James Rossiter, for those of you at home that are wondering who James may be? James Rossiter, how difficult is it to get back up to speed every time you keep getting these cautions?
Well, it's when you have the cautions so often, it's actually difficult to keep tyre temperature, brake temperature and everything like that. So not only do you have to get up to speed yourself mentally, but you have to get the car up to speed, and that's the thing that's actually becomes quite an art.
But of course, Johnny Kane, no better man than Dario Franchitti for having that art.
That's right. I mean, all through his career, he's grown up driving cars that don't have tyre warmers. So, he's had a lot of experience at driving cars on cold tyres. And we saw him there at the restart taking 4/10 out of Will Power. So, obviously, quick at getting back on the pace.
Got to watch out for Will Power, though. He's a bit of a man for being able to pull one out of the bag on a restart. And the last couple of races, we've seen some great restarts from him. So Dario will be aware of that, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah. And you saw Dario did a great restart last time, and let's hope he can do it again.
Lap 69 then, as we're under the full course caution for the second time because of Draconi. The new man at Conquest has found himself, the subject of more footage than perhaps he'd want to be, facing the wrong way. You underline the fact that he may just be tiring a little, James. Now, it's a long old race compared with what he's used to.
Yeah, it's his first IndyCar race, and the cars are very heavy to drive. The steering's very heavy. It's a very physical car, and I think that he might have actually got to the stage where his arms are actually so tired he's struggling to hold on to the car.
Just goes to show how good some of these drivers are. Obviously, 85 laps around this course. It's a great undulating course. A little bit bumpy in places, but looking good, Johnny.
Yeah, I think so. It's a physical circuit, and we know how much effort all these guys put in the gym, as we saw from Alex Tagliani earlier on in the program. So Dario is a fit guy, and so are the rest of the guys behind. So looking forward to the battle.
So we're waiting for the track to go green again, as it is at the moment. Chip Ganassi, we saw him a little bit earlier on. I wonder how much money he'd pay for Daytona, Watkins Glen, and a win at Ohio as well. Probably quite a lot of money. Let's go back.
Versus welcomes you back to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and there is the layout of this facility here, which is about 50 miles north of Columbus, and it isn't all that far from Cleveland. We're about, I guess, midway between. It's a beautiful facility, and we have completed 69 of 85 laps of our IZOD IndyCar Series race here this afternoon. Dario Franchitti is the leader of the race, and there you can see his finishes on road courses this year, with Toronto being his best finish, a second. Right now, he has the advantage on Will Power, Castroneves, Tagliani, and Briscoe, with Dixon, De Silvestro, Andretti, Matos, and Baguette completing the top 10, Jack.
Hey, guys, help me out. Dario Franchitti, left foot brake or right foot brake?
Right.
Hey, guess who's in second? Will Power, left foot brake. It'll be a classic confrontation of styles on this start and the rest of the race. Fun to watch.
And the disadvantage that Will Power told you, Jack, was that he used a little more fuel, but because of these cautions, you don't care.
Yep.
So, nice even playing field.
And we know how blistering fast Power has been in qualifying and all the poles that he's had this year. But now it comes to racing. It's one thing to be fast, but it's another thing to set somebody up and get by him and pass him. Just because you could be faster is one thing, but getting by him is a whole nother deal. You really got to get in his head.
Season performance from Target Chip Ganassi drivers Franchitti and Dixon. Dixon with 2 wins this year. Dario will come off corner number 13 and take the green flag to get us back under racing conditions.
So I think that something we just need to look for is how guys are putting the power down off the keyhole, is who kept their tires clean and scrubbed. So when you do go to the power coming off the keyhole here, who's setting themselves up to make a good run and a pass as you get down into turn 4?
On board with Elio in third.
On board with Elio. Of the top 5 guys, he's the only one on the black sidewalls.
2 leaders were on the overtake, and looked like Power thought about it. He moved his car just a little to the right.
stout run there for Tagliani. And what a great move they made by that sequence of pit stops. A little bit of luck.
Look at that, though. Side by side. That was Dixon and Briscoe. And Dixon got the better of Briscoe.
Okay, Simona now, come on, pounce. Who's right behind him? I mean, you got to take that momentum. When that guy in front of you loses momentum, get right there.
Dixon jumps to 5th. Let's see if Simona will have passing in mind coming down here into turn number 2.
And again, there's Marco Andretti still behind Simona and still doing the same thing, just tucking out. I'm still here. Now, we also saw that pass by Rafa Matos into corner 6. It was like, looking, Simona's doing exactly that. Just kind of popped out on Briscoe. Wasn't up alongside enough, but just let him know, I'm ready.
In fact, Matos just used his overtake, and he wasn't really that close at that point behind Marco, so he must have done that to keep Baguette behind him.
Well, that's what I say, is I just wanted, since that worked so well for Matos that one time, was he going to look and try and do it again? Didn't work. Or I shouldn't say that. He just wasn't close enough to make it clean. There you go.
Still have 21 cars on the lead lap here of the 27 that started, and 4 are out of the race. As you can see at the top of your screen.
Well, I tell you, Dixon is racy. He's closing in really quickly on the back of Tagliani. And man, look at this snake and how many people are getting off in the dirt on exit of turn 1.
Go back to the restart. Just off of turn number 1.
Closer.
We saw some dirt kicked up, and now we know where it came from.
And that's right there. That shot of watching the... Woo, look at that. You see Graham Rahal pinch that thing off and lay rubber?
Yeah. Well, because you're like, what's behind that cloud of dirt?
But that visual of coming to this racetrack and watching Matos behind Marco. So somewhere in there, like I said, we knew he was coming. He made it stick.
Matos to 8th.
He's in the number 2 car, a little right there. Silver and blue and black.
And he's
HP.
Now right behind Simona. And Marco Andretti is under fire somewhat from Bertrand Baguette. Here's the pass.
There you got Rafa down the inside very cleanly. There's the 4-3-2 board as you come into that passing zone where you say, hey, if you're not attempting to pass somebody, you better be on the left-hand side of the racetrack, as Marco was. Ooh, there he's sticking his nose in.
Yeah.
But be patient. Now's the time to do it. Get a good shot off of the keyhole so you can get it done down in turn 4.
I wanted to talk about Rafa Matos. I sat down with Gilles DeFerrin as well as Jay Penske in Edmonton. And talking with them, I mean, you could tell how pumped they were, how much they were building forward, because they are a new team. And they say, yeah, they make mistakes, but they're making smaller mistakes. So that gives them more opportunity to move forward. So a brand new team, a very good driver, and now you're seeing what can happen when they can put 2 and 2 together. They've got one heck of a race car, a fast driver, and they're moving up the field.
DeFerrin Dragon Racing, and the chauffeur is Rafa Matos, and his last 3 finishes, a 4th at Watkins Glen. 12 laps to go at Mid-Ohio.
A brand new football quiz is evolving.
Tennis?
That rewards your knowledge.
Question 10 for £50.
Of the beautiful game. Take it like a fan. Starts Friday from 10 p.m. Sky Sports 2. Hey! Come on! And Soccer AM is back.
Let's get a lesson on.
Saturday morning from 10, Sky Sports 2, sponsored by Head & Shoulders.
Clonmel is the home of Magners cider. And everybody here knows that the quicker the apples are pressed, the fresher the juice that makes the Magners. There's method in the Magners.
Hello, budding quiz wizards. Can you untangle these 3 TV show titles? Snooker players join with members of the public to escape an island and get to school on time in this new show. The others are coming, but Sawyer just wants to build a snooker table out of aircraft wreckage. Will Zach and Kelly manage to escape the polar bear? Will Screech go home with a no-dad waistcoat? Will anyone ever work out what's going on? Got them all? The J2O Pub Quiz. Find out where you can play at j2o.co.uk.
If you're a landlord, you should have proper landlord insurance. You see, normal home insurance isn't designed for rental properties, which means you could end up spending money putting things right if something goes wrong. So why not give Direct Line a call? Their landlord insurance is designed to cover you and your property. And it costs less than you might think, as Direct Line guarantees to beat any quote for the same cover. For a quick and easy landlord insurance quote, call now or visit directline.com.
Certainly by the speed we've seen from Franchitti, Castroneves doing a great job hanging in there on the blacks.
But again, this is still one trade, depending on who you talk to, there was not as much disparity between those two as we do go through this race on picking your tire choices.
Hey guys, we're down to the final handful of laps, right? When you take a look and analyze the number of overtakes still remaining for Dario Franchitti, Will Power, and Helio Castroneves, they've got enough to be able to use the overtake at least once in every remaining lap. Could be a little interesting there. Now, what about Alex Tagliani in 4th? Well, unfortunately, he's a little shorter in that department.
Rafael Matos, that we watched move up to 7th position, has exhausted his overtake assists. He has none left.
But he got the positions out of it. So
yeah, exactly.
He was assisted in overtaking.
Yep. Yeah.
And Dixon definitely looks as though he's going to have something here for Tagliani before we get to the end of this thing.
Yeah.
He's definitely one guy that I think we want to see what he's got.
Dixon is right on the rear wing of Tagliani.
Now, the difference, again, coming to the reds and the blacks. Dixon's on blacks. Tags is on reds. The Firestone Reds historically have a little bit more bite in the rear tires. So does that allow Tagliani to get to the power sooner as you come off there?
Hunter Ray and Baguette.
He's got it.
This is for 10th. Hunter Ray takes it.
And that is the opportunity that this blocking rule in place creates, that kind of passing. You can't be on the right-hand side of that racetrack unless you're trying to pass somebody.
What a drive for Ryan Hunter Ray, who had been suspension. They changed it, got him back out there, and he has moved up to the top 10.
So what you take away from that is no matter what happens, whatever, never give up. And look at his right hand. You can just see how hot and how much he's working that car. You can see the sweat that's come through the leather on his right hand there. That's how much you're working in that cockpit.
We'll take another break and be back in a moment. Franchitti leads at Mid-Ohio.
So you join us back in the studio while our colleagues take a break. 7 laps to go then, and it's all about Dario Franchitti at the front at the moment, chased by Will Power. And if Will Power finishes where he is at the moment, he'll win the Road Course Championship with a race to go. And the last championship he won, stats coming out of everywhere at the moment, was in 2002, the Formula Holden Championship, believe it or not, in Australia. James, you know him quite well. He's going to be fairly happy with winning at least one segment of the IndyCar section this year.
I think he is going to be very happy with that, but I know Will really wants to get an oval win this year, and he's pushing really hard for that, so I think that's going to be his main focus, as I'm sure he's going to wrap up this Road Course Championship today.
Johnny, this man, Dario Franchitti, he's under pressure, but he's the right guy and the right mentality to be under that kind of pressure.
Yeah, him and Will are trading laps at the moment. One guy's doing a faster lap and the next guy's then matching it the next lap around. But I felt before the restart that Dario had it covered this, for the last 15 laps or so. He's looked pretty good today, and he's not the guy that makes very, very many mistakes. So I think he's going to come good for the British guys today.
Last time I looked as well, Dario had quite a lot of push to pass opportunities still to hand, whereas Will Power had only got about one left, I think, last time I looked anyway. So he's under a little bit of pressure, perhaps from the defence point of view as much as the attack point of view.
Yeah, but he's got a good car underneath him. He's able to do fast laps and consistently fast laps. And there are only 6 laps to go. I think he's got this one in the bag.
James, there's nothing like the kind of opportunities we had here for speculation and discussion. Lots of strategy going on around the racetrack at the moment. But equally, there's nothing quite like a real scrap to the flag, fully fueled, all the tyres on board, and the boys doing the best.
Yeah, it's a great sprint finish here, and I'm sure that Will is just trying to edge ever so closer to Dario, but it's going to be really exciting to see what's going to happen these last 5 laps.
Well, Rafa Matos is the quickest on track at the moment, closing in on Ryan Briscoe. So Rafa Matos is the mover and shaker around the racetrack. Keep a look at the back of the shot if you can see him coming in. This is, of course, the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio. Let's go back to the track then.
Just 5 laps to go now here at Mid-Ohio as Dario Franchitti continues to lead Will Power and Elio Castroneves and Tagliani and Dixon. Robbie Floyd on pit lane.
Sometimes you have to have things go your way in racing. Look at this tire right here for Ryan Briscoe when they took it off the last time. Made contact with either Ryan Hunter-Reay, Elio Castroneves, somebody. We were worried about Elio. But look at this. The sidewall totally ripped up, got into the rim in 2 different places to spin. This is a lot of damage right now as he's got his hands full with Rafael Matos. But what could his race have been if these 25 pounds of pressure dropped to none in an instant? Things really are going his way right now from actually being able to stay out there on the course. This is an unbelievable job these Firestone Firehawks did. I have no idea how they're even holding air.
And there you can see how Matos is right there waiting for the opportunity.
And do you think he's wishing that he had another overtake just to get a little bit closer because he's got none left?
Top 3 cars right now are all on their overtakes. Boy, these two are going after it. And you heard Chip Ganassi say they have to finish ahead of Will Power. They would certainly like to finish more than just 1 position ahead of him, but the biggest gap in the points is between 1st and 2nd, so that's still going to help.
Yep.
It's nice when you can script it and it works that way, huh? Man.
Remember, the race started on the backstretch, but will end here on the front stretch.
And Power, he's doing everything he can. I mean, he's staying close enough and in touch with Dario. If he has any hiccup or whatsoever, that's the window for Power to get in there.
And he's pushing him.
He is
right there.
Oh, yeah.
And Power was on the overtake button before they came out of that keyhole corner.
Yeah, Power's getting on it earlier than is Dario. And that was a little bit what he did actually in Edmonton that led to that whole scuffle down in turn number 1, is that he got on the button before Elio.
Yeah, he got on the button before anybody. The corners coming onto that front straight, he was the first guy on it. You're right.
Fellas, what I'm also noticing is I've been watching the telemetry between Dario and Will, and I'm not trying to belabor left foot, right foot. But if you remember, we talked to Will Power at the top of the show. He said it allows him to do a little bit different going into the corner. I'm watching specifically down in turn 9. Will Power is able to do a little drag brake where Franchitti is either got to be on the throttle or on the brake. So Power is able to control the nose of the car just a little bit better, I think.
Well, those, as you talk about that, Jack, and what you can do with just dragging your left foot on that brake, and it keeps the nose of the car down, it keeps weight on it, that's just all the subtleties. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but those are just all the subtleties it takes just to be that much better, that much quicker. And each driver sets their car up for what their style is. He's close. Not close enough, but he's right there.
He's going to have one more lap to do it because they will get the white flag when they cross the finish line this time.
Dario Franchitti has one of those overtakes, and Will Power has two.
They come down and head for the carousel.
Look at Will definitely closing up under braking.
Here they come off the 13th corner, and the white flag waves. One more lap to go on this 2.25-mile Mid-Ohio Circuit. And Franchitti now stretches it out just a little bit. We'll see what Power is able to do here in one of the prime passing zones. Nothing.
Braking there, but you know he's going to go the overtake button.
And Power goes to it first. They both get a little bit in the dirt. Franchitti has yet to use his.
Power's not close enough. He's not close enough to draft up.
And that is just about it as far as passing opportunities are concerned, but who knows?
You still stay right there. Keep pressing.
Keep in mind, Franchitti is out of overtakes. Will's got one with a recycle. Give him enough time to use it.
Yep. Well, not since the Indianapolis 500 in May has he visited Victory Lane. But today, Dario Franchitti tightens the point race just slightly. But nevertheless, it's a win in the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio. Dario Franchitti beats Will Power, Castro Neves, Tagliani, Dixon. Simona gets an 8th position out of it, and Ryan Hunter-Reay is 10th. J.R. Hildebrand in his first Eyes on IndyCar Series race finishes in 16th position. Danica Patrick is 21st. And Robbie Floyd is with Chip Ganassi, who wins again today.
I know, and high fives, handshakes all around. The first guy you shaked his hand was Barry Wanzer to your left. I mean, he had this thing dialed in from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, Barry and Chris, the team had things wired here today. You know, they had the strategy right. And it's been a great weekend for the whole team.
What does it say about your team? You're 127th, 28th, 29th in your automobile racing career for your team.
You know, we got a lot of wins to go yet. I mean, that's not, you know, I don't keep score. I just want to, you know, that's what we're here for, though.
We've only just begun. Hey, Barry Wanzer, I got to get you into this because you were all smiles yesterday. Dario was all smiles. How good does it feel when your driver comes off the track and goes, man, we've got a fast race car?
You know, it feels pretty good. It doesn't guarantee any results, but it certainly helps with the confidence for everybody. And certainly the guys in the pits today certainly made the difference.
Did you know when he said, you know, you started working on the car and it kept getting better and better as the grip, you know, started happening and other people might have been backing up?
Yeah, it seems like as the track gripped up, it came to us. And, you know, that's pretty rare. So we'll take advantage of it when we can. And like Chip says, we take it race by race.
Laid out perfectly. The number 10 Target car makes his way to Victory Lane. I'm ready to head to talk to Dario Franchitti in just a little bit, but things are very happy in the Target camp.
Well, Will Power, congratulations. You have clinched the road course championship. You now have the Mario Andretti trophy. How does that feel?
Yeah, that's fantastic. You know, a guy like Mario Andretti, fantastic, one of the best races of all time. But we're going for the overall championship. You know, we couldn't get Dario today. I gave it everything I got. But yeah, I mean, it was still a strong day. But that's the guy we got to beat, you know. So yeah, still a good day. Very happy for the Verizon guys.
Did it really come down to when Dario passed you in the pits, you think?
Yes, it did. I mean, he got us in the pits there and just couldn't get him back. You know, I was hoping to go a lap longer than him, get him on the next stop, but no, couldn't get him. And it's really tough to pass around here. So if he didn't make a mistake, I wasn't going to get by.
Going back to the road course championship, do you feel like a little bit of a comeback story after breaking your back in a crash last season and coming back and doing as well as you've done so far?
I just focused on getting better, you know, getting in the car and being as quick as I used to be, and that was my aim, and we're at the top right now. But he's catching.
And on to another road course.
Yeah, one more road course, so we'll look forward to that one.
Will Power, thank you.
Dario Franchitti doing some interviews here. I'm going to jump in. That's what you get when you're the champion, buddy. What does it feel like for you, not only taking your 15th IZOD IndyCar victory, your 25th open wheel victory this weekend?
They're all the same to me. I don't distinguish between the one and the other. 25, and I'm quite surprised by that we got there, and I'm really proud. I think that's a lot to do with driving great equipment throughout my career, and couldn't be happier to be part of Team Target. That first pit stop today, God, that won us the race.
Will, in his interview, said that was the key to victory. Do you think you still could have won this thing without that pit stop?
Would have been difficult today. Will and I think we're very evenly matched on pace, so to say I'd go out there and pass him, I don't think that's that on the track. I don't think I'd be telling the 100% truth. It'd be very, very difficult to do that, as it was difficult for him to come up and try and pass me. So there we go. But good weekend for Chip Ganassi and Target and Team Target. Montoya winning up at the Glen, us winning here, and Scott and Memo winning the Grand Am race last night. So
the Ganassi triple, I think they're calling it already.
Yeah, I told them that's what we call a hat trick in Scotland. So pretty good job by Chip, and proud to drive for him.
How about the importance of getting those points on Will Power, making up points? You didn't get the most laps led though, but made up quite a few points.
Yeah, we didn't get most laps led, but we what was the difference, 10 between first and second or something? So we made some points up today after finishing on the podium, but finishing behind him mostly every time recently has got a bit old. So it's nice to actually make some points up, and it's not over yet, and we'll just keep fighting.
Road and street course now, it looks like you got the car dialed in. How does this feel heading into Sonoma in 2 weeks?
We had a great time at Sonoma last year, leading from the pole, leading every lap. Whether we can do that again, who knows, but we're going testing there this week, actually Friday, so I'm looking forward to that, and we'll see what we got from there. But each race, man, you just got to push 100%.
Dario Franchitti closes in on Will Power, but not by much. Scott Dixon stays third, Ryan Briscoe fourth. Helio Castroneves is up 1 to 5th. Ryan Hunter-Reay down 1 to 6th. Tony Kanaan, Marco Andretti, Justin Wilson and Dan Weldon are your top 10. Our next race comes from the beautiful Californian wine-producing region of Sonoma County as the IndyCar pack travels to Infineon Raceway, formerly known as Sears Point. The last road course race of the season is not far from San Francisco, and last year Dario Franchitti beat Ryan Briscoe in a thrilling finish.
Briscoe got loose. And the green flag is out. Several cars involved. Dixon is in the middle of the racetrack.
Oh, there goes the keep it running. Keep it running. Wow. That gives us no indication of anything other than he just went off the track. Look at this, Marco Andretti. Pow! Sorry, Scott, I'm coming through.
Here they come into the final corner. It's Dario, Briscoe, and Conway across the line, and Dario Franchitti wins his fourth victory of the season, his 12th in the IndyCar Series. It's his first win here at Sonoma.
Join us in 2 weeks' time for the Honda Indy 200 from Infineon Raceway in Sonoma, California. It's the last road race of the season, and we're live on Sky Sports 4 from 10:30 p.m. on Sunday, August 22nd. After Infineon, the IndyCar teams return to the ovals for the remaining 4 races of the year, starting at Chicagoland Speedway on August 28th. Then it's 200 laps around Kentucky Speedway on September 4th, before the teams fly out to Tokyo in Japan for the unique challenge of Twin Ring Motegi. The season comes to a spectacular end in Miami at Homestead Miami Speedway, where the 2010 IndyCar Series champion will be crowned. We look forward to your company. Hope you can join us for that. Promises to be an exciting end to the season. But for now, thanks for watching. See you soon.
Everybody's story-eyed, and everybody goes. Oh, everybody's story-eyed, and bye-bye he goes. Oh, everybody's story-eyed. Oh,
More sport, news, views and video highlights at skysports.com.